Hey, welcome back. It's Beyond the Pole Radio, and I'm your host, Katrina Lee. A lot of exciting things going on today, and I just love the Thursday night lineup. I started a new radio show. It's called Upstate Eats, and we go to all different restaurants. We do food reviews with me and Marcelli, and it's really enjoyable. So I'm going to be coming back to Rochester again tomorrow, and we're doing a food tour from 4 to 7, going to a bunch of restaurants. Kind of excited. I've been super busy, working like crazy, doing all different filming and forms of media, and there's more projects upcoming, and I'm just really excited. Like, I'm really loving life right now. It's pretty cool. So we're going to shortly have Dawn Marie from 4Play4, the number, playbuzz.com, is going to be doing a call-in with our sex toy of the week. And I'm going to do a porn review. We got some exciting things. That new Ted Bundy serial killer movie that came out, and just the whole Doc Ted Bundy tapes have been like taking the area by storm. It seems like all these women now want to hook up with them, and there's even women that are getting tattoos of like where the bite marks were and everything. It's pretty crazy. So we're going to talk about some serial killer obsessions, fetishes involving like serial killers or cannibalism during sex, all different unique crazy things today. I'm pretty excited. So my casting director, he's Western New York Casting at gmail.com, is releasing a book, which is awesome. He wrote it. He's actually helping me with the children's book that we're doing for Gates to Recovery and the video. And it's going to be teaching kids about drugs because I work in rehab. And with the opioid epidemic, there are a lot of kids where their parents are overdosing and they're ending up being raised by other family members, grandparents, and they're going to schools in different areas where other kids don't know what the drugs are, what's going on. So it's going to kind of teach about them at age-appropriate levels. There's going to be a couple of them, and then we're going to do like a craft, and we're going around to all the schools. So I'm super excited. I'm doing that with Gates to Recovery. It's a pop-up walk-in rehab clinics. They're all over, and I own the distribution rights along with my partner, with the bridge. And the bridge is a device that goes on your ear that sends waves to your brain saying that you're not going through opioid withdrawal. So we actually have the first doctor in Rochester, and there's been 6 successful 100% successful studies so far with the bridge on all the patients that actually went on it. And it's Dr. Cool's office, and is in Henrietta, New York. And we're actually expanding and working on the PR because they finally did the double-blind study. So it's actually going to be more effective to get the Medicaid approval, and the doctors will understand it more. The problem, we never got to that because there's so many topics, but we're going to get back onto that later. And we're going to have some Tickle His Pickle and hands-on guide to penis-pleasing hints and more. But Traz is he works as Peter Johnson. A lot of people know him as he's at Buff State as a professor and pretty much all the casting things. But he wrote this book, The Cow on Two Farms. It's a children's book, and it's about the like challenges and like with kids and having to go when your parents get divorced. And I'm really excited. I haven't read it yet. But he's doing a book release, and it's June 2nd at Frank Meriwether Library at 1324 Jefferson Ave from 3 o'clock till 4:30 for the release and book signing. There's going to be like door prizes, panel discussion, child service experts, and that's in Buffalo. It's going to be a really cool event. Hopefully you can probably get him to do one in Rochester also where people can meet him. You can get the book online and everywhere, but he's going to be there personally. And he's a great guy, and I think it's awesome that he did this for his kids. It's so exciting. So we are going to go into a quick song break, and then we're going to do the toy of the week. So stay tuned. We are WRFZ LP Rochester 106.3, rochesterfreeradio.com. Hey, welcome back. It's Beyond the Pole. I'm your host, Katrina Lee, and we're looking actually for another co-host. I've had a couple on and off, and they all just started working at a nightclub, so it's time of the year. I would love an intern or someone that would want to be involved and is strong with social media and is good with the adult industry. We're going to be doing filming and pretty much just shows slowly turning into kind of like a Life Without Shame Generation 2. So it's going to be a lot of like crazy, fun shenanigans and events. And I have this really awesome vision for it. So I'm like super excited. But we have Dawn Marie from 4playbuzz.com on the phone. And congratulations, Dawn. I see you got another state to join on your team.
Yes, it's crazy. It's super exciting that somebody from Buffalo, like a small town girl, you know, could take on a major corporation. It's like I feel like I'm going against Walmart, but I just know in the end, like, good will win. I feel like David versus Goliath, you know? It's a $250 million organization I'm trying to take down, which I know I will. I mean, it's just people are so supportive. I've already taken 34 states in 10 months.
Wow.
We have over, I mean, it's just insane. 800,000 impressions, 5,000 leads. And 10 months ago, I started with just one state and nothing.
Yeah.
So people are ready for change. I mean, I bring sex back to the living room. I celebrate it. I allow every human being to come to my parties, where my competition only allows 50% of the population to attend. Men are excluded at all parties where I actually hire them and have them be consultants. I actually got my first married couple, Mr. and Mr., to be consultants for me, so I'm super excited. We're just following the trend that America is on, with being all-inclusive, everyone welcome. Judgment is, no one judges anymore. This is in 1962.
Yeah.
So, it's super exciting. So I really, truly appreciate all your support. And I've been following you, too. I'm excited about all your TV and movies and everything else you're getting into.
I know,
Dude,
it's
you
crazy.
You really have, a teaching job.
I really do, yeah. I actually started writing them all down yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. I was, amazed.
Couldn't believe it either.
I was like, no wonder I feel so burnt out. I'm actually getting rid of my adult store in Jamestown right now, so any listeners want to hear it, I'll train you and go over it. It's called Misters. It's a Cat's Meow Misters. It's connected to Bait and Tackle Shop, so that you don't actually have to have an employee. The employee's on the other side, and I don't pay rent. I give them 20% of all the sales. So even if you don't make anything, you don't lose anything. So it's a good chance for someone who is in the Jamestown area and wants to take over an adult section.
Really?
Yeah, but the thing was, when I did it and started it, they had a strip club called Mondays out there. So we were getting a lot of girls from the club, or different, sales like that. And now with the clothing, it's just not really that much anymore in the area. And then it's a heavier set clientele, which a lot of the one size fits most dancer clothing doesn't fit that well. So it's just not ideal for me. But if it was someone who is stronger with those brands, you could definitely make some money at it. You don't lose money because it costs nothing if you sell nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good deal, because then you're not losing anything.
Yeah, so there's some months it was just, I was like, I don't want to drive out there, and it's
That's far, too. There's nothing to do in that area. That's really far off the beaten path for me and you.
Yeah, just the I Love Lucy Museum. What?
If you're around, we should do East Aurora. We'll have to go down, maybe grab a drink or something.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be around, so.
This week's Toy of the Week, we have a whole entire section on the website I added for specials. So everything on there is discounted price, but high-quality material. One of my favorite items I put on special this week is called Total Ecstasy 2, and it has all three areas. So it's anal, vaginal, and clitoral stimulation all at once. So it's kind of like a milkshake. It just shakes you right up.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't know if you're coming or going.
Yeah.
So that one is fun, and I put that one on the special, too. And then we still have our pleasure kit, which is only $99 and gives you $350 worth of product. So we still have that out there. And my website is the number 4, PLAYBUZZ.com.
Perfect.
Perfect, honey. I miss you. You got to let me know when you're around.
We definitely will. And anything else going on with your charity? Any upcoming Feed the Homeless events? Or
now we're going to start the back to school as of June 15th. They start putting the sales out. The minute you see the sales signs at Walmart, which is usually June 15th to June 25th, is when I start collecting.
Okay.
Because for some reason they put all the back to school stuff out at June, not August, June. That you can get 10 sets of crayons for 30 sets of crayons for $10 or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, mass product, insane sales. So as soon as I start seeing the insane sales, I'll start posting that I'm collecting.
Yeah, I'll start grabbing some stuff up too and get it. I used to do.
It goes on sale though. It's insane. You can get markers. One year I got 20 for $5. 20 packs of Crayola markers for $5.
Wow.
You can't even. Yeah. So wait till the good sales come out.
Yeah, no, I used to go, and I actually can do this year because I will hopefully have more time later on, but we had a back-to-school schoolgirl parties, and then the guys got free cover, or they got a free thing if they dropped off school supply donations. We get tons of backpacks, and we had the Naughty Schoolgirl contest, and it was fun.
Imagine being a kid going to school with a crappy old backpack. It's hard enough being a kid,
Yeah.
let alone starting the first day of school and not having, like, nice new stuff like your peers.
Yeah, or even supplies. It's sad.
Devastating. Yeah. And I mean, and back-to-school supplies, on the other hand, could cost a parent anywhere between $75 to $100. Well, if you have 2 or 3 kids, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's great. I'm so glad you're involved with the community like I am. So, like, yay.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have a lot in common.
So, definitely, I'll catch up with you this weekend for sure. So,
You too, sweetie. Thank you. Have a
thank
great
you.
time.
You too. Yay, I love Dawn. I love sex toys too. It's just so much fun. You can't beat it. But we're going to do another song break, and then we're going to introduce our guest of the evening. So, it's Joe from Frisky Kitties, and we'll be back. Hey, it's Katrina Lee, and we are Beyond Pole Radio. We are on Facebook. We have 2 pages, Beyond the Pole Radio and then Beyond the Pole. I like to post some funny things and have some pictures. We're in a transition. I'm really excited about the big upcoming changes. And we're going to start adding more sections and sponsors and different topics and heated, cool debates and does fun and chaos. So super, super excited. We have Joe, and he is a stag owner company, and he's done awesome for years and years for Frisky Kitties in the Buffalo area. And you're going to have some questions and answers and talk about some exciting things. So, hello. Hi, Joe.
Yes, good to be here. Finally, good to be here. Yes. So, what would you like to ask?
Yeah, no, we'll just kind of go with the flow and see what happens. So, how long have you been doing this?
I'd say about 17 years.
That's a long time.
And I had another small business, and then I changed it around. And that was to spice it up a little bit. So I talked to some of the girls, and let's come up with something good. So we decided to call it the Frisky Kittens.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked it still does.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like the name. So
I mean, not like, not like it did, like I said years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it has that type of a business, whether you like to hear it or not, has now a downward trend.
Yeah.
And part of that reason is because of drinking and driving laws. A lot of it is cash flow. The type of cash guys don't got around here because they ain't getting them type of jobs that they used to have. And the big part of it now, believe it or not, I found it out because I do a little bit of it. I started doing a little bit of it a couple years ago. Most of it now is more into a direction of Jack and Jill parties.
Okay.
All right, where guys ain't calling for dancers, strippers, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have seen that as a trend. And they're doing like
Big
combined
time.
parties
Big time. And I mean, down the street from me was a fire hall, and back in the prime, I probably used to do every other weekend a party in that fire hall.
Yeah.
And I can tell you over the last 2 weeks alone, there were two big, over 200 people, and they were Jack and Jill parties. A guy and a girl get married, they party with their friends, they do raffles, they keep the money, and probably use that towards the wedding or whatever for the big day. But myself, I can't complain. I had a good run with it through the years.
Yeah.
And that's because I had a great group of girls that worked real close. We work close with each other because it's a lot of running around. It's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stress. And for me, I can't complain. It worked good. I'm part-time now because I retired. Like I mentioned to you, I retired from the state. And I do it. I'm not looking to go and do what I did years ago.
Yeah.
And not only that, I had a heart attack in 2014. And I kind of enjoy a little bit of retire. I enjoy a little bit of both.
Yeah.
When it's there, it's there. And if it ain't, that's fine. The warmer weather's here now. I got the beach every weekend I can go to and hang out. But I met a lot of interesting people too.
I believe it.
A lot of interesting people. And I've really never had much trouble. I think one time or twice out of all them years is where I had a problem on a party where somebody acted a little nutty. Off the wall. You're gonna get that.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with alcohol. And
yeah.
girls
Oh, yeah. and the other. Like I said, it's kind of remarkable because you see through the years how everything changed.
Yeah.
It's different.
Oh, I know. I've seen it. I've been in the industry 18 years myself. It's amazing.
It's like the world's a different place.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's part of the reason. Places don't want, like halls, bars don't want to do it anymore because of liability issues. And the fact that they're not supposed to be allowing dancers back there, period. And like I mentioned to you before, you got guys in there, private party, and stuff like that, and people don't understand that concept. That from a New York State Liquor Authority viewpoint, if you have a stag, all right,
Yeah.
and you're having that in a licensed establishment, all right, and you got dancers there, and they're stripping, or whatever. Technically, under liquor authority law, that place is not licensed to allow that to happen because they do not have what they call a cabaret permit.
Yeah.
And therefore, like I says, the only way that you could work around that is if you had a stag party where there was not absolutely one drop of liquor
Yeah.
being served. Now your party's private.
Yeah.
Otherwise than that, the liquor authority's got a right of any time to come into that establishment unannounced. They don't got to even announce that they're coming. They just walk right in there. All right, and I mean that goes along with not only with that goes along with gambling.
Yeah.
Illegal gambling operation. But gotta remember, you went to American Legion Hall, especially up in the falls. You went up around them areas up there, and there's the guy there with the cards and the table and everything, moving, happening, everyone making money, spending money, making money, and now it's kind of like, it really down, Plus, drinking and driving.
Well, yeah, they're much more strict on that. Now.
I mean that's a part of it, but then where I was kind of blessed, and this is where everything ties in, and you know what I'm talking about. You got girls that are in this industry to support drug habit.
Yep.
And that is, to me, a real sad thing. I mean, my message to girls out there: if you're getting into an industry like this and you're going to dance and you're going to make money, be smart. Put your money to good things. Buy good things. Pay for a good education. Don't sit there and bind yourself with drugs because it's just a nowhere thing. It starts nowhere and you end up nowhere. And like I said, we talk because I know girls that died from heroin.
Yeah.
And the beautiful girls, gorgeous
I
looking
know,
girls.
it's so sad too.
They got a child that they leave behind, and you got to go through. But getting back to with stripping and stuff, it's a good thing. If you're there and you're making money and you can handle your money right, and you can go out there and you keep your nose clean, you're not involved with drugs. You do what you got to do. Keep to yourself. Don't let anybody really. My thing was to my girls, when business ends here, it ends here.
Yeah.
There is no going and giving a phone number. There is no talking to a guy. There is no not making arrangements after. Everything ends right there. You keep it business. We came. We did. We were paid. We did what we had to do.
Yeah.
And it's over. And like I said, that way. I was really blessed because I started with 5 good girls, and we ran for years. Years we ran with that. And like I said, it's still good. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not that heavy duty, where I got to have something every weekend. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I still got people that followed me through the years, and it works. So it's enough for me now. I'm retired. I mean, I got a great pension. I get great Social Security.
Yeah, you don't have to worry. You never really lived off of it completely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what got you interested in opening a steak company? Was there a lot of parties going on at your regular job that you thought, oh, I know some girls?
Well,
or
I worked for a girl that owned a place, and she didn't have like selective type women. She would, if I took the girl, I had to deal with what the girl was and how she looked and stuff like that when I got there. And I said to myself, God, I know I could do better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I know I could do better. So I decided then to step out on my own. I started small. At that time you had Art Voice, and they're gone.
Uh-huh.
I started out with them. Took a phone book ad out, and at that time, actually, phone book ads were a lot of money.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
To get in there and pay for an ad, and even something small, just to get you out, because everybody, obviously, if they wanted a stag, they went to the book.
Yep.
Now it's the internet that took over.
That was kind of the same with the Extremely Hot magazine. They're dropping down. A lot of places want to put ads because they're so used to the social media, and they're saying a lot of people don't look at the book anymore.
I thought about going in there, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I says, other companies do, and that's good. All right. I didn't. I ran my own way of doing it with advertising.
Yeah.
And I built really a much better off of word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? And like I says, with the internet, a phone book and stuff like that. So I never really, I know of the book because I read it from time to time.
Of course.
But, myself, I didn't bother putting anything really in there.
It used to be where every place had to be in it because if you weren't, no one knew you were around. And I used to have a steak company. It was a pain in the butt. I would never, ever do that again. I wanted to do it because some of the companies would rip off the girls. So I wanted to be like an agency, and I was only going to take 10%. But half the time, like, the girls wouldn't show up. They'd try to cancel last minute, and it was a pain. But in the Extremely High, I would get a lot of prank calls nonstop.
Oh, I
and
still
then
get
a lot
those.
of people looking for like escorts, and I was answering it myself trying to do it, and it was just so obnoxious that I couldn't stand it anymore because I've always been in college or had a real job at the same time of doing this industry.
We talked a little bit about it. You know what I'm saying? There's people that are good for the business, and there's people that don't need to be in the business.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not going to mention names and stuff like that, but it is out there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people, oh God, I'm going to start a stag company. I have no concept or clue what's really behind it. And owning a stag company is a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work.
And that was one of the reasons, like I said, after I had the heart attack and I took the retirement and stuff like that, I says I'm going to, slow it up a little bit and stuff for myself so I'm still around here to see it, 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm lucky to even be here talking to you.
I understand.
Yeah. So, like I said, I still enjoy it. I still going out. I still like going out and meeting people, and for me it worked out good. I can't complain. When guys would call in book, I tell them, here's what I charge. All right, this is what you're going to get. This is what you ain't going to get. I used to have the rules laid out. There's nobody allowed in a ladies' room during the show, after the show, before the show.
Makes sense. Yeah.
All right, when the show's over, it's done. I says I'm not there with a stopwatch where I clock it at an hour. Guys are behaving. The girls would stick around.
Tipping,
Yeah. So like I says, I enjoyed it, but did the business and the industry change? Yes, very, very much so. And like I says, maybe someday it'll pop up again.
I think the quality of girls changed too. I talk about this all the time, but I'm noticing that we're getting a lot of 18-year-olds who are already addicted to drugs. And they're just coming in for fast, easy cash. And there's a lot of flaws because I dress a lot of these girls and they're like trying to get stockings to cover track marks or armbands, and it's like hiding the issues. It just seems like it just got more negative. But once you enter the adult industry and you're a drug addict, you don't hit a rock bottom. You're going to find men who are taking advantage of you, using you for sex, or you're going to find maybe an adult child of an alcoholic who thinks they're helping save you and they're actually enabling you, and you just go worse and worse. And maybe you'll start out at a better club like Buffalo Pharaohs or something like that. And then as you start getting worse on the drugs, and you drop down to the lower quality clubs, and then you end up on like Backpage or the EEIE.com escort page.
Well, if you go on there and you go Escorts Buffalo, it's called List Crawler. It's part of the old Backpage, from what I understand, and those are where all the girls are prostituting off of that, from what I understand.
Yeah, there's always going to be a new site or something that's going to pop up. There's like Purple Monkey and all different ones, and
you're never gonna get away from it.
No, it's always going to be around. So it's kind of lost cause because it's one of the oldest like professions ever. So
and then like I said, I know girls that did do that. And they paid for their education, believe it or not. I mean, they weren't into drugs. They did that, and they paid for and they got out of it,
Yeah, well, that's what I mean more. Back in the day, there was a lot of, like, legit, like, women putting themselves through college and dancing. And there was more, like, feature entertainers, and we really had to be more put together, and it was more higher quality. And just even higher quality girls now is more discreet. You didn't have to worry about pictures, and now it's like everyone's doing all these private Snapchats and spreading themselves out way too thin, and it's all different girls, and the club's, like... Which I think is good that a lot of the girls now, the 1099 definition changed, and they're going to have to be on the books, so the clubs will have to pay them. So they'll be more selective. But for a while, they were letting any girl work and being like, hey, guys like all different types of girls, and it cost the clubs no money because they weren't paying you as like anything that they made or charge you for like your floor fees. It was better for the club. Now that they're having to pay these girls $7.50 an hour, and per all these girls and the taxes and workman's comp and all that, it's kind of changing. So hopefully it's becoming a little more selective than it was.
That's what you need, and even in a stag business, you got to be. Like I told you, I was blessed. I had good girls. They weren't in drug runners. They paid for their education. bought themselves a car. They fixed up their house, took care of their kids. You know what I'm saying? If most of them only had like one kid, and they done a good. So for me, I can't complain. But now today, you go and you meet somebody, and just by looking at them, they're using.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I just was never that type that I would let that happen here.
Yeah.
I mean, I just couldn't see it.
There's a big difference too. I mean, back when I started, like 18 years ago when you were 17, it was more the girls were on cocaine. So, I mean, I didn't mind that because I didn't have to worry about it harming me. I mean, it's their life. That's what they're doing. But now with the heroin, like the girls are falling asleep. They're nodding off on customers. They're hiding the needles. You have to worry, honestly, about sitting on like a VIP couch and getting poked with a needle and stuff. It's just disgusting.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And it's just different.
I mean, I myself.
And like diseases like hepatitis and a lot more.
A lot
than,
of it
like,
is Hep C.
issues. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're seeing. A lot of these girls are involved with Hep C. And there's girls, that have a downfall and they can come out of it. They go to rehab. They'll come out, and there's some that they just can't do it. They go back to it, and it's curtains.
Yeah.
It's, really, to me, if you're a girl and you're out there and you're playing with that type of stuff, then that's definitely like you're dancing with the devil. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To me, I look at it as an instant death sentence. That's exactly what it is. It's a death sentence if you're playing with heroin and stuff like that. But hey, back in my time, it was marijuana, this drinking,
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But, I just can't understand today's youth. So, girls, if you're involved with something like that, there's plenty enough help out there. There's plenty enough.
There's
help
tons. Actually, I can help you. Like I said, I work with Gates to Recovery, and we have the walk-in rehab clinics, and I'm expanding and I'm opening them up in Western New York, Erie County, as we speak. One of the first ones are going to be in Holland, New York. I'm from there originally, and I lost a lot of friends, and it's got a huge heroin problem right now. And I'm the average age of the overdose people. So I have friends that they'll do really good and they'll be sober for like 6 months, a year. And then they go and they use one time because something triggered them. And that's when they overdose and die. It's just awful. I've lost well over 500 people, but I was spread out and I know more people through the clubs because I was going from Erie, Pennsylvania to Syracuse up and down the 90s drug trail in and out of 50 different clubs selling clothing on a regular basis. So, and that's 18 years. And I watched the epidemic change where it went from they're on the pills and they all started grinding the pills and snorting them and they changed the components of the oxys. So then everyone went straight to heroin injecting. And it was just tragic.
The oxycodone was a big thing in its time there too. I mean, I knew a lot of girls. I mean, I lost a lot of guy friends too from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a friend, no name where he worked, had a very prestigious job. Okay, took it. I mean, right to the top. With other, with a community person, and when he got hooked on that, it was like up, and it's just like a roller coaster. And when he came down hard.
Yeah, no, it's awful, and it was a lot of men too. They say it was as athletes that they would have injuries, and they would put them on those pills, and then it's like too late. They all got hooked, so it's just sad and tragic. But I'm going to cut into a song break, and we shall return and go on to more fun topics.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Welcome back. It's Beyond the Pole with your host, Katrina Lee. We have Joseph in the house, and I don't know, it's going pretty smooth today, kind of fast, so I'm happy. I'm waiting for my pizza to arrive. I had my food show earlier, and I was so busy I didn't get to eat, so I had to sit for a whole hour listening to food in detail, and I just sat there like, I'm so hungry. Like, this is crazy. But as we were talking about, there's been a lot of changes in everything going on in the adult industry, and I know that one of your bigger girls, like you said, was Barbie Doll. Now I know she's pretty diverse, and has she been in multiple kind of acting, and she's rapping now and stuff? Or why don't you tell us about one of your star girls?
Well, obviously, she's on to bigger, better things, doing things in the DJing. I know. Because she changes around quite a bit, but she's doing quite well with it.
Yeah.
And like I says, and she's with me from time to time, and because she got hurt, and like I said, so I mean, I got other girls and stuff like that. Barbie is one of the exceptions here. She's very good. She's very energetic. She knows how to keep a crowd active. She was one of the, like, for me, because my girl's not actually were they old, but she had new ideas, and she started like a new chapter over here. And right now she's into musical stuff, and she's doing quite well with it. For those, I mean, everyone has a low spot in their life.
Yeah.
All right, and if you take advantage of your low spot, it'll bring you up to a higher spot. And she's one of the girls that did that. She's got very, very good parents.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they look out for her in the utmost best way.
That's good.
I know them. They own their own business, and they've done some work for me and stuff like that, because I don't want to mention business names or anything like that.
Yeah, obviously.
But they're very active with her.
Okay.
All right, and like I said, she's into this DJ thing now. You could probably follow it a little bit more online, because with me, what I got going on in my life, I really am not. I mean, I know she does great with it, and stuff like that, and she enjoys it, and she's got a little bit of dancing, but more of that now is our focus.
Yeah, just backup money to cover something.
Like I says, it's there comes a time, you got to grow up, and stuff like that. But again, there's in this business, there's people that like you, and there's people that don't like you.
Yep.
And
there's always gonna be someone to criticize or say something nasty.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and they don't even got to know you, and they don't like you.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the beast in this business.
Oh, I agree.
But I mean, you would definitely know that.
Yes. Yes.
So, like I said, no, she's doing okay for herself. She's doing good. Like I says, I'm happy for her, and I want, like I says, if she needed something, I'd be there to help her in any way I could. You know what I'm saying? But she's really doing
That's good.
pretty good for herself.
I know, like with myself, because of the dancing, a lot of it, things I never thought I would have done more recently in the past 2 years, kind of go hand in hand. And a lot of us are extremely creative, artsy people, and just with the features, the music, the performance, I ended up getting really big into acting, and it became a hobby. But like you said about being kind of like taking advantage of something at your low point, and I literally lost everything. I was in a horrifically domestic abusive marriage, getting beaten every day, being belittled, ran down to the ground. It was just a nightmare. I didn't know how to cope with anything right.
I remember.
Yeah, so I drank a lot, and then my ex was paying all these cops off and everything, and just trying to make me look so bad and getting arrested over and over for things I didn't do, and he still harasses me. He still contacts. I can't even put if I'm in a relationship or anything with anyone online or pictures, because he'll start contacting that person, and it's just relentless, especially since the restraining order ended, that I can't get protection. Just can't renew it. I got to wait till he does something bad again, which stinks. But
well, like I said, some people out there don't believe in being very noble.
Yeah, but everyone knows his true character, so I don't really have to prove anything. And he actually made me a better person, because when I lost everything and he made it a nightmare all at once, cut my money, my businesses, I lost my job, my family, all this stuff, my company car. Like, it was just a nightmare. And I worked my butt off. And now I can probably say that I got 2 very successful radio shows. We're filming 2 TV shows, 4 based on me, my own TV stuff. I've been on like 28 different podcasts. I've been in 27 movies now officially, and they're all coming out on TV and major ones with like Adrian Brody, Marissa Tomei, Peyton List right now. Literally, like, I have this amazing set of friends. I've been on Law and Order, and my new movie is actually coming out on Netflix June 25th. That's the next one you'll see me on. Is called Staged Killer, and it looks really good, the trailer, so you can check it out. Staged Killer, June 25th, Netflix. And there's just more and more coming out, like Christmas movies, and Buffalo's becoming like this film hub. And so is New York, a lot of areas in it, especially upstate, which is incredible, because I never would have thought I could have done this. But it was like every time he attacked me online, everyone could see it. It just totally ripped me apart. Everything he said I couldn't do, I went instead, and I did it. I was like, no, you're not going to say this about me. I'll prove it wrong, and I'll just keep building myself up to where I don't care anymore, and everyone sees it, and I don't have to prove anything.
And that's a good thing, because, like I always said, if you're a positive thinker, you'll be a positive person.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's everybody's goal. You got to look for the good things out of life. And getting back into this type of industry and stuff like that. That's I can look back and I can say, that I done girls a lot of good, and stuff like that. And for ones that have retired here a while ago, I still hear from them. I'm still in contact with them. We get along. Occasionally we go out for dinner, stuff like that. But I mean, I'm just glad that I did what I did, and I ran in a different direction,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I kept the cattiness out of here, the salt and pepper conversations. He said, she said, and I focused because every weekend there was something to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to be ready, and stuff. But I ain't got no regrets with it. I don't. For me, it worked. I made it work.
Yeah, no, for me, because I had other things going on, I was so busy that it wasn't successful for me, and I wasn't doing the parties, and I wasn't taking enough money out anyways, so it was just more a nightmare. It was like thinking I was doing a good deed, and then I did it, and then Brandon came out with like the One Touch, and then that's gone, but it kind of just devalued. Then they were like, it was $99 for an hour, and all the prices is hard to compete. And then with the internet and girls like our guys just asking the girls to do it on their own, and it's kind of a pain.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like I said, I've seen many places. I mean, back in my time, there were only 3 companies out there.
Yeah.
That were running it. And like I says, then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to stay a company.
Yep. Yeah, and it's just like a thing to be cool, or like, oh yeah, I know all the girls at the clubs and stuff. It's like,
and then each and every, the majority of them fell on their faces.
Yeah, and then a lot of the clubs were trying to do steak parties for a while outside and like send them, but that usually fails. I remember doing one years ago at 24 Karat, and one of the girls got raped, and then they ended up suing and everything, the club, and it's not the right liability for them. So it's just easier to go into the club.
I thought I heard everything, but that one I did not hear. So
years ago.
That is news to my ears.
Yeah,
so.
That was years ago. So,
but like I told you, I mean, look what happened in a place. It's 24 Karat gone.
Yep. There eventually, I think someone actually said it's a pending sale and should be opening. I was talking to the person who's taking it over.
Which one is that?
24 Karat.
Up on Route 5.
Yep. I always liked that one. I had an adult store in there for a while, but it was it's termite infested. So I had a wooden pole that I brought in there, and I like a coat rack thing, and it was like just riddled with termites really fast. And the door was clear and it was all the way, and we had to put paw prints on the door because it was right across from the VIP room, so it was dark, and the guys were coming out and they were like walking right into the glass, hitting themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the same owners own that, and they own. That was formerly Madam's.
Same. It's the Redans.
Yeah, from Canada.
Yeah, and they don't want to sell it. They're the Sundowner and all the other ones, but they don't understand the difference now between Canada and United States.
Big
so they're
difference.
offering outrageous amounts to rent it, and honestly, like they should just knock down Madam's or whatever Trist, because it's never gonna work. Because they want like $22,000 a month to rent, and Pharaoh's paid off their mortgage because they have that hit and they were so successful. So he can undercut it, offer dollar drinks, like cut down all the prices and take it while he destroys them. Because why would anyone want to be over there?
Yeah.
So I mean, they might as well just make it in a hotel or something, like the whole area.
I mean, that's not a bad looking building,
No, it's nice.
But I knew 2 of the owners. It was a husband and wife that were part owners of that.
Yeah.
And I talked with them, and he lost it. When I talked to him, he told me right out, boy, he lost his behind on that.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, it was gorgeous, and they did a good job, but they just had too many conflicts, and they didn't. They weren't hiring the right people. They just kind of kept the same people with the same problems, and I don't know, it's like they didn't know exactly, and then they were just kind of listening to what other people would say, so they're getting these features that were like outrageously expensive, and they weren't like being promoted the best way.
Well, I do know one thing. Again, no names, but I know that there were people. You got to know what type of people you got coming in there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people try to come in there and run their thing in there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And that's where a big part of a big mess happened in there.
That's why I had some problems too with my dancer stores. I gotta really watch who I was hiring, because sometimes they were like, I'd get someone and they were selling drugs at the same time. Like, oh, this is great. I can be right in the club. People will come in. So you gotta make sure, like these hustlers, because it's that type of personality that draws you into this industry, like flipping, making money, have unique characteristics. So you just gotta make sure they don't have a double agenda.
No, like I said, it's going to be amazing to see what comes out with that building.
Yeah.
That was it's one of the things I'm looking forward to watch and see what they're going to do with it, because obviously I guess they don't want to sell it, right?
Yeah, they don't want to. So, but the thing is that they didn't understand, like when Mark was falling behind, before when it was still Madam's, and then before it switched over, that they have to pay these girls now, and all of them, and they have to be on payroll after they did all those like whole like searches and shut them all down for a while. when they did the one that 24 and Tally were shut down. And they got like liquor 30 violations, and they don't get it because in Canada you can just bring the girls over on 6 months visas. They have them live inside the club, pump them around club to club to club. They make the money, then you send them back.
Not here.
Yeah, it's not like that. So
Yeah, not here. Like I told you, liquor authority is a good thing, and they can be a brutal thing, man.
Oh yeah, no.
On you. There's no doubt about
with a
I hear
lot.
stories. I've heard stories. I still hear stories, but like I said, I'd be interested to see what turns out of that. Like I was looking at the old Club Chit Chat that used to be on there. My buddy owned that.
Okay.
And he is now the only one that can go back in there and legitimately open it up as a strip club again.
Okay.
All right.
Does he still own it?
Yeah, no, he sold it.
Okay.
He finally sold the building about 2 months ago.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Good guy. He's got a good job.
Yeah.
And he finally sold it, and it's a collection agency now.
Wow, I did not know that.
They kept the Tiffany sign out. I don't know if it's Tiffany's going after
Tiffany's Collections is so weird.
I don't know. The sign is still up there, but because I rode by there and I said, look, I see all these guys,
Oh my
And
gosh,
so
I didn't know that.
I pull along the side and I says, "Hey guys," I says, "When is it opening up again?" I says, "I'd like to come in and check it out." He goes, "Well, it's not opening up as a club anymore." He goes, "It's opening up as a collection agency."
Where did the poll go?
I don't know.
Yeah, because usually they end up going somewhere else. Like I worked at Mondays in Jamestown, and then the poll's actually in the adult store. I have Misters out there. Cassie meets Misters.
Well, like I
So
said,
I'm like, it's there. There's original piece.
when I saw him Mother's Day. We went out. The family went out to eat, and he was there with his. He's married. He remarried, and he was there with his wife and his boy. And I says, "Gary, come on! Are you gonna run this, open this up again?" And he goes, "I'm done with it." He goes, "I would never even dream of going back into that anymore."
Oh yeah, no, it's very stressful. Owning it is a nightmare, and it just brings negative people around you a lot, like hand in hand with the drugs and fights and just lower quality. People are going to use, manipulate,
and that's what you find down in that part of town.
Oh yeah.
His parents. I don't know if you know the story behind that.
Mm-mm.
That was traditionally known as Schwedies,
Okay.
and his mother and father owned it, and he inherited it.
Okay.
And he opened it and he started fixing it up, and then he changed the name to Club Chit Chat. And he had a good run there for a while. But
Yeah, it was really good back in the day before the other ones really opened and the area was better.
Do you remember years ago when they had a thing called the Saints and the Sinners?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think that's what put a big hit on that place there itself. Was one of those places that it put a big hit on.
Yeah.
It only takes one person out there to go and act like a fool, and then you get the domino effect.
Oh, I agree.
Everything just trickles right down. But like I said, I was surprised because I thought maybe we're gonna have another strip club here.
Right.
And I asked the guys, and they go, no strip club. He goes, it's gonna be a collection agency.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, okay, well,
That kind of a lot of dancers become collection agents too, so it's kind of strange.
And you take that part of town. You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna go down there?
Yeah.
I
I was there for some.
I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, it seems like each city's got that kind of one inner city seedier club that you have to legit worry about shootings and stuff on a regular basis.
Yeah, well,
there's one in Erie, there's one in Rochester.
The guy that opened that after Gary.
Yeah.
From my understanding, was trying to open it up at a place on Dingens and Bailey, but couldn't do it because the building was too close to a daycare center.
Yep, that's where my issue is with the school.
And he went then, and Gary wanted out, so Gary leased it to him for 5 years, I think.
Okay.
And I don't think it lasted quite 3 years. And
Okay.
they shut that down. It was a shooting out there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, that was the Tiffany's, the same owner, yeah. They put all that money, started remodeling it, but I know that he had like more inner city clubs in Myrtle Beach, and that's kind of like what he wanted, what he was looking at.
He had a place, I understand it was an adult place up in Dunkirk.
Yeah.
It was a juice bar.
Yeah, that was Club 35, which then he called it Baby Dolls, and then it became Dazzlers, and then it's Rebels, and I believe Rebels is closed now too.
Yeah, so
But that was a hard one. I don't know. I kind of paid attention to him because he came up and no one really knew him, and then he bought all these clubs, but they were more like the losers, the ones that didn't really make much money, all at once. And I know he got rid of a bunch, but it was affecting me because he was selling dancer clothing also, so then I couldn't really sell the clothing in there anymore. So I had the one in Salamanca and I closed that, and then that became his son runs that one, and I heard that it's going to be going up or something on the lease soon. And I was talking to the one owner of the building, and he was asking me if I actually wanted to go down there, manage it, and then like I could live there. It's like a strange, there's like a apartment in the back. He's like, you could live in there, and I'm like, I don't know. I think I'd feel like a failure living in a strip club.
Yeah, right. And I know
It's a bad environment too. I get stalked and God knows what.
He bought the old Rick's Tally Ho.
Yeah.
And then he had that, and then he built that one out in
Tonawanda. Yeah, New York Showgirls now.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I know he built that up in there and stuff like that.
And then he bought all the adult stores, and a lot of them ended up closing. And
you know, I was out at the one in Tonawanda.
Yeah.
And I went in there. I think it was on a Wednesday or a Thursday night.
Okay.
And God, it was dead in there. There were maybe 5 people in there.
Yeah, I seen it really weird too. When I went on a Sunday, there was like one dancer and like one person. So I don't know. I know it's changed hands or names a lot, and I mean it's a nice club. I don't know.
Yeah, I like I told you, you know, people ain't going in there. They're not spending that kind of money.
Yeah.
You know, like you take the ones around the airport, they might be doing a little bit better because you got the traveling businessmen.
Yep.
You know, in and out. You know, so that's a little bit more lively and a little bit.
And
more
there's a lot of business. Yeah, just even lunchtime, and they have to concentrate more on food too, like wing specials and.
Yeah, but like I says, that's another part there. Them places, those type of businesses took a hit too, as well as the stag industry. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, no one's going out there and
the same
forking
with
that kind
adult
of money.
stores too. Porn became free online, so you're not buying the videos.
Yep.
So we used to be able to sell them at like $60 a video. Lube, you can get good lube now, not just Astroglide or garbage. You can get it at Walmart, and you can get it at like Wegmans and all
Amazon.
over. Yeah, you can get sex toys. You can get them like right there, and from like Trojan and stuff, and vibrating cock rings that you get. I used to sell them for like $5 for one. It just like lasts 30 minutes and switch them back and forth. And it was a good deal. Those disposable ones. Now they just come free with a pack of 3 condoms.
When you were in a club and you had your store running out of there,
yeah.
How are you doing for yourself with that?
I did really well because there's some customers too who would get stuff, and I had lower overhead. I didn't realize I probably did way better than I was, but my first ex-husband became a really bad drug addict, and he was stealing a lot of the money and stuff, and I didn't know what was going on. And I know how to pick the winners.
Well, I think everybody goes through a little bit of that in life.
Yeah.
But you know that, like I told you, and you know it yourself because you see it with yourself, it makes you a stronger person.
It does, and I think too, maybe the industry made it like I seen the 3 relationships I really had that were like more significant. All kind of were linked to the clubs, the same type of people. Like all of them were felons. None of them had license. They were not able to drive, and they were all like had someone else registering cars and insuring them for them. They all ended up being drug dealers, drug addicts, alcoholics. Cheaters, all in the same drama, same situation, and the last one was ridiculous. Like this guy literally paid this girl money, $300 to fight me, and he gave her my phone number, and she was pretending to be someone else, and I was like talking to her, and I just didn't understand what's going on. She's like, "Oh no, I'd never do that," and change all this, and I'm domestically abusive. My brother committed suicide. I need some help, mental health help, and she had all these garbage bags, and she was literally like kicked out of her house. And he calls me, asked if I can help her and pick her up and take her to like a shelter or something, or give her $400. I couldn't get $400 out of the ATM. I can only take $200 at a time. So I'm like, I can't do that. So she seemed nice, and I took her to like Wegmans. She got some like supplies, and I should have caught on when she's like, "Oh, I stole this from Fatso, like the credit card. Thank him for it." And I didn't realize she was just scamming all these people and going all around. And then I stupidly brought her into my house, in which I think I was drugged. And we were, like I said, we were having fun, so the shelter was full. And she ends up stealing over $25,000. Wow. And like my favorite things. And so my credit card, debit card, I couldn't go to Florida because through the snow and all this. And this guy kept saying like, "Oh, I didn't do it." And then in court, she goes and she says that he told her to do it, and puts it right on the police statement and report. And then I'm like, "Why would you do that to me?" And then I was with this guy almost exactly a year. By like one day it ended. And I'm like, I started thinking it was weird because he was like still hanging out with her and talking to her. And then she's down in Florida, and she's got using my purse that she stole, and he's in a picture with her, and that's when it kind of blew up, and like I freaked out on him, but I don't even care because I don't have an issue with him. He can't get restraining orders or anything. But ladies, be careful out there. This guy's Ron Fazio. He's from Buffalo, and he lives in Tampa, and that's the type of person he is. He's a person who will pay someone to rob you and screw you over, even though he's telling you he loves you and he cares about you and all this stuff. But that's what drugs do. They change you are, and they change your personality, and that was a big problem with them because it was yo-yoing between him on drugs and off drugs. So I didn't know what I was getting. So he'd be really sweet and nice, and then he'd be like really evil, but he was more like a jerk when he was sober. When he was impaired, that's when he was actually nice.
Yeah, well, certain things change certain people, But the whole thing here is them are sad situations, but that's what society has become. And like I says, for girls, I mentioned it, that are coming into the strip industry or doing it, or stag companies. Pick and choose wisely.
Yeah, because I see too another thing that you get the girls who they start dating some guy and they're like, make them stop dancing right away. They don't want them doing that, and then they start paying their bills, and then the girls get stuck. They don't want to stay in it, and they're relying on them, and that's bad. And then there's guys who don't care, but then it's because they're like kind of doing their own thing, or they're using you for the money that you're getting. So like a lot of addicts like were paired together, and the girls start dancing so she can get the drugs for both of them. Or I just see I haven't really seen any like super strong healthy relationships out of this industry.
No, I haven't seen a one.
I haven't seen one. I definitely was not the leader of them. Mine all ended up really chaotic, and like I said, I react poorly sometimes. That's why I got more into the rehab things with drinking. And I can have fun and drink and be normal, but the second like something's going down or it's wrong and I start drinking, it changes. And then I don't remember. I like black out, and I leave like crazy messages that don't make sense, like a lot of them. And that's like the worst I do. But that's nothing compared to half the stuff other people do.
Like I said, I know it was on the clubs because I knew girls that worked in them, and they would tell me about some things that went on in there, and the fighting, and then girls would date guys that came in there, and they came in all beat up.
Yeah.
And why girls, why would you want to be in a situation like that?
Sometimes you get so scared you don't know how to get out. And then you're like trapped. Like I had a really hard time getting out of my last divorce. The first one, he was just an addict, and he went to jail so many times, and he went to jail for 3 years. I told him if he came back, he could never drink again. He came back and he drank that night. Yeah. I was like, okay, that works. So, and then the other one was just horrifically abusive, and because of it, I ended up with traumatic brain injury, and I'm lucky to be alive over it. And then this other one was just mentally like abusive and just stupid, begging for money all the time and lying and playing games, and it was just crazy. And I was like trying to struggle going back and forth, and I think that it was like a wake up call, and I'm like, I see, and I wrote down, I noticed I'm dating the same type of person. And they're all linked to the clubs, and ironically, the three of them are all friends with each other. And I'm like, I need to get out of that circle.
Yeah, you do. You got to break away. There's an old saying, and I'll say it till the day I die. You can't make a crow.
Yeah.
A cardinal.
Right.
That's just
like
what
that
ain't that neat? Yeah.
And I'm like one of those people who I keep trying, and I'm just a really loving person, so I get taken advantage of. And this last one was really kind of ridiculous, and I think it was just because I've been working so many hours that I wasn't paying attention to a lot of the stuff going on, and I should have.
And work can be overcoming. You're so focused on it, you don't need to see what's really going on around you.
Exactly. So it kind of felt like a falsified relationship. Like there was at least a text here and there or something, but it wasn't really beneficial at all to me. But I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about drug dealing families. I noticed that a lot of times if the father's a drug dealer, then the kids are a drug dealer, and this was like a 3 generation of drug dealers. It was kind of fascinating.
Well, I don't know if you were aware of a law that was passed here. I think it is a law that was passed in here, because New York and here in the Buffalo area, and we know the girl that passed, me and you, not to mention names. And that made the news. Mm-hmm. It was the first case, and it was done here in Western New York.
Yeah.
Where they tracked down the girl that died from the overdose. They tracked down where she was getting it from, and they convicted. Yeah,
I know they changed that law, so it's great.
And they convicted that person. he's got life sentence.
I'm hoping too that they have a new law because my friend, we all know, as I can say her name, Chastity, overdosed and died, and we had a very hard time getting into her phone passcode system to be able to see who the last person she was contacting,
Yes.
who would have sold her the drugs was. By the time they can switch it and get it out fast, it took days and days to fight with Apple. So on my phone, I actually don't have passwords on it. At all, because if something happens, it's because I'm more in the spotlight. I want them to be able to get on my phone and see all the last people I talked to, what I said. I got nothing to hide, honestly, in my phone. Like, what, you're going to take some nude pictures? Okay. Or,
Well, that's how the authorities tracked down
Yeah.
where she was getting it from. Actually, she was getting it from a girl.
Okay.
So they tapped on her phones.
Yeah.
And then once they found out where she was getting it from, they knew perfectly well who he was.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they confronted her.
Yeah.
And then in order to get her away, because they obviously know how that goes, they really want him.
Yeah.
And they got what they wanted. They prosecuted him, and
Yeah.
they
That's
did it.
great.
But, I think about that because like I said, she was such a beautiful girl. I mean, absolutely beautiful girl. And had a daughter, and it's like I'm telling you, it was something that till today with me it don't set right, and stuff like that, because I know her dad, and he's devastated from it. So, like I said, girls, I hope you see something out of that. Like I said, if you're coming into this industry, come into it with a positive approach, a positive outlook. Don't come in here to do it, to get yourself involved with drugs, because you don't want setbacks. Setbacks take time. Setbacks, come in, make your money, and if it gets to something where you think you can't handle it, then you get out of it, or like I said, pay for your education. Move on to bigger, better things.
You need to eventually have an escape plan, because you're not going to find some magical man who's going to save you and pay all your bills. And if that's what you think initially, then when you get older, he's not going to have the interest in you. And you don't want to be dancing when you're older. For one thing, your body hurts.
Oh, yeah.
It affects you, and then you don't make as much, and then it eats at you. And then usually I find that the older girls who are dancing while they're at Tally Ho, there are several up in Rochester, but they have like older clientele, and like I get the theory that some like older guys don't want to talk to someone who could be their granddaughter, and they want like a companion, but it's like a niche. It's more day shift, and the other older girls I see in at clubs just drink themselves like stupid because they just can't handle it. They don't want to do it.
Well, I had a girl over here. She was pretty. She was with me for years, and she went and she got a boob job, and when she retired from here, she was having some big, major back issues. From
yeah.
Major back issues with that, and I haven't talked to her now in about 2 years, so I don't really know how she made out from it. But you know how some women are, they get into it, they become so infatuated, they go and spend money hand over fist to get themselves into a competition thing. Mm-hmm. We know one girl, and like I said, there's believe me, to get in, here's the thing: get in, make your money, get out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I try telling the girls it's not always necessarily even your looks, it's your conversation skills. Like, I can talk to almost anyone about everything. And when I first started dancing, I'd watch the news every day, so I had topic pieces that I could talk to and relate. And so I had all the business owners, so I made more because I had the higher quality customers. It wasn't just that. So, I mean, and I saved and I invested into businesses. I gave myself a great life, travel, vacation, beautiful homes, great cars, multiple degrees.
Yeah, you want to make the best of your life,
Yeah, and I'm like, I know this isn't a long-term plan. Although I have aged pretty well, so I've been able to pull it off for quite a while. And when I do dance, if I do, I make like a lot. So I still, even at my age, though, that's nice.
That's
like I feel like I'm making more than I ever did now, honestly. So
yeah, but like I said, for me, I hang on to it, because it's there. Because I got girls here that need money and they do it and stuff like that. But I'm not out there looking. Like you hear the rumors out there today that they're out there. I done 25 parties. You're not doing no. I know better.
No, yeah, they were always lies. I was all making up stuff, trying to one up each other. And
I know better than that. So don't go there with that and stuff like that. But I mean, if it's there, it's there. I mean, to me, it's just a pleasure thing more so now, because it's people that I know and I go do it. And, but like I said, to me, I wouldn't hire just anybody in that business. You'd have to satisfy me quite a bit before I'd hire you. And one thing would be is if you're going to do this and go and buy drugs with it. Don't, like I said, don't do this and run to the drug dealer the next day and buy what you're going to get. Because
Oh, I know.
you know, like I said,
That's awful, yeah.
rediscover yourself, girls. You know, that's the thing. You know, sit back, take a look at it. You know, make sure you're getting involved with good people and do good things. What if you're in this industry?
It's sad when you realize how much money they throw away because it's like
Oh,
fast,
yeah.
easy, and then when they need it, or like girls, they don't have credit or anything, and that finally, and then they like end up getting pregnant, and you find out all their furniture is like rent to own, and then they lose everything.
Oh, yeah,
and they're all
yeah. Oh,
scrambling,
yeah.
and it's
I
scary.
know a girl that's going through it. Like I said, no name. I know a girl that's
Yeah.
going through that right now. You know, and stuff like that. And it's, you know, the money she did not make. You know, and out the window, got pregnant. You know, and then instead of, you know, making better, she gets pregnant again with the same guy, and now he's not around. He's doing a 3-year term for whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, see, that's not cool. You know, I mean, I was always, you know, me as a guy, you know, I like the business, but I like I said, I set a perimeter. You know, I mean, if you're gonna go and do this, you know, you're not gonna do this.
Okay. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But we are gonna cut a song break, and we're gonna do a call in with my friend Tim from the Cigar Club, and we're gonna do a little chat and take a break. So
We'll do that. Thank
yes.
you.
Hi, I'm Evan Stone, and beyond the pool is where you want to be. Don't be with the pool, beyond the pool.
Hey, it's Katie Morgan. Thanks for listening to Beyond the Pool.
Hey, welcome back. It's Beyond the Pole Radio. I'm your host, Katrina Lee. You've seen me in Hustler, a whole bunch of movies, TV, different medias. I have another radio show. Super excited about all the stuff coming up and ongoing. But we just finished and wrapped it up with Joe from Frisky Kitties, and he does the steak company, and he has for 17 years, which is impressive. And I've worked with him and known him through the root. He went to one of my first adult stores, and he wanted to see what Cat's Meow was, and he was pretty nice. So I had a great time, and we like let out a lot of informative information on the industry, drugs, and everything going on with liquor authority laws and more. But we have Tim on the line now, and he's going to call in from Buffalo. And I met Tim, and we've been doing a project called the Cigar Club together, in which I'm a madam, and I run the whorehouse and kind of run the girls. And how are you today, Tim?
Hey, I'm doing good, actually. How are you, Kat?
Really good. I have no complaints.
I'm actually hoping that, I get to run the cat house.
Right? He's the manager.
Right. Because I'm thinking I'm not in the family.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, yeah. That's
So, I mean, first of all, I love the propped up the chaos. I heard it. Love it. Love it. But, the Ted Bundy thing, I actually feel like I'm the new Facebook stalker. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. No, I'm loving, I watched all the Ted Bundy tapes, and, I watched the movie too, and I love serial killer information, but it's just amazing that how many, and I don't know if you noticed it, it's like primarily white women who are obsessed with them. And they took it to like a whole different level. My friend Ailey was going to be on. I wanted to talk about it, but like where they're getting like tattoos of the bites where he like bit his victims and everything on their legs, and just real crazy things going on.
Yeah, right? I mean, wow.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I have a whole collection of serial killer memorabilia and items, and I actually wanted to open one in Rochester. It's still on my bucket list. I just have so much going on. I can only do one project at a time. And we're doing a serial killer museum, so I started writing letters to all the serial killers, including Son of Sam, and like sending them information about the serial killer museum that they can write their story themselves. And we would, have like a monument. Also, I have it all really organized. It'd be like in memory of the victims and the unknown victims. So it's not just spotlighting the serial killers; you're also remembering the victims. But we have in Rochester, we have Arthur Shawcross, and he would actually he was going in primarily on Lyle Ave and murdering all the prostitutes back in the day. So a lot of them you didn't notice what was going on, so we don't know the level of the victims he had. And then they have the ABC killer. And then I found out because my parents had a party and my dad's one friend was there and he saw all this serial killer thing. I had a Chef Jeffrey Dahmer apron. And it was like pretty funny. And he's like, "Oh, did you know that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy was from he lived in Buffalo?" And I was like, "No, I never heard of that." And then I looked it up, and yeah, he did. He's based on a person, and he lived in the Lafayette Hotel, and he actually used to go to Buffalo Psychiatric Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was like fascinated. So I'm definitely going to look more into his stories too, just because I couldn't believe it. But I found it amazing how many times Ted Bundy was able to escape and like convince people, and that he was able to get a girl pregnant while he was in jail, and just everything.
I don't get the whole, I get, like, I think girls want excitement, personally speaking. So
Yeah.
I think that's like, wild and crazy.
Yeah.
I have a funny story. Do I have time?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the one lady talking before was talking about a sex party, and like guys and girls, I mean, it's for, whatever. It's not a sex party, but,
Yeah.
So I was like, we had one, my girlfriend at the time, but I was like the only guy there, right? So then this lady, like, this host in this thing goes, this is hot, it's like, and she told like her spiel about, what it was, it tastes hot and that. She says, I'm going to come around and put it on your penis. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay. And instantly my mind went blank. I'm thinking, I've heard about these parties. I didn't know this would be my girlfriend hosting one, and I'm the only guy there.
Yeah.
And instantly I went blank, and I'm thinking, holy shit. She's going to come around and put it on my what? Well, beforehand, we all got, like, tasters.
Yeah.
So all the girls got penises, and I got a vagina.
Mm-hmm.
But instantly in my mind, when she says, I'm going to come around and put it on all your penises, holy smokes. Nobody told me this was going to happen.
Yeah, I used to do toy parties myself, and through my own company. It was just like it wasn't my thing, and well, I seem really bold on the radio, and I can be kind of on the screen. I'm not very bold when it's in front of a bunch of people, and they're like asking, like my aunt was asking me about dildos and all this stuff, and it was just really uncomfortable. And I just, it was just a pain. Like, a lot of people cancel last minute. Half the people didn't show up. It was just the same thing with, like, the stags. I try to avoid that stuff now.
Yeah, right. I get that.
But then you get a lot of people asking weird stuff, like thinking you're going to, like, demonstrate how to use the toys on yourself, and they're going to watch and stuff. And I'm like, what type of toy parties were you guys going to? I'm like, I don't think it's like that. But Dawn does a lot of them inside the body shop. And then they do it at the club on Sundays before they're open. And then those women, like, they're like stripper wannabes. Then they all like are kind of jumping on the pole and going wild, and it's kind of funny. So you hate actually admitting you did dance, because then they're all like, get up there, and I'm like, I really don't want to. I'm completely sober. Everyone's staring at me.
Nah, you look good, baby.
Yeah, it's just a weird layout when they do that, though. But yeah, I can go into a bathroom stall and have pretend sex with a guy I don't even know grabbing my boob on a TV.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Cigar Club.
I know, yeah, the Cigar Club. So I can't wait to see what goes on with that, because the trailer and everything was filmed really well.
Yeah, looks great, man. I wish I saw more of me, but that's cool. Love it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't. I know they're gonna have a strip club one upcoming soon. So I know he had some issues with family and his dad passing and everything, so it got a little delayed. So I totally understand with that type of situation. So.
Oh, no, I'm so patient with it, but it's like, oh, come on, show some clips of me.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, some of these movies, because I've done a lot of them, but they're like stand-in or they're like background roles, so you don't know if you're going to be in it or what's happening. So I was happy with that Stage Killer that we did. I thought it was a Lifetime one, but I did that with Peter Johnson from Western Your Casting, Traz Johnson, on Facebook. And that one, I was like so excited to see myself in the trailer. I was like, yes, there I am, finally.
Right.
Because, like, The Purge has Mr. Tomei's stand-in, so no one got to see me at all. So I did everything before she did. So it was like, oh, there's no point. And then I can't wait till a clean picture comes out, and I'm with, like, Adrian Brody, and I'm, like, a prostitute with them.
Nice.
I had some interesting roles, but I'm finally getting more into not being so typecast, and I'm getting, instead of all like prostitute stripper roles like that, I'm getting teacher roles and things, a little more. I can be proud, and my parents can watch it and they're not like embarrassed.
Right. All right. I know you guys got to wrap it up. I
Yeah.
appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. So I will hopefully see you soon and catch up. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, thank you. So we're gonna do one quick song, Gary, and then I want to just wrap it up for the night. We are RFZLP Rochester 106.3 RochesterFreeRadio.com. Hey, it's Beyond the Pole Radio. I'm your host, Katrina Lee, and I've been just really busy doing a lot of different unique things. Living my next best life, pretty much since I lost everything after the divorce, and rebuilt myself and did everything I never ever thought I could do and accomplish. And it's just been absolutely amazing. And I met so many wonderful people along the way that, I'm just really blessed. But my favorite person, one of them, Peter Johnson, is releasing a book. It's he's going to be having the release and the book signing June 2nd at the Frank Meriwether Library at 1324 Jefferson Ave from 3 to 4:30. He's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Bring your kids. There's door prizes, a panel discussion, child services experts, and it's called The Cow on Two Farms. And it's a children's book that he wrote for his kids. After he had his divorce, showing that it's good between like the cow that can go back and forth the house and work together and everything. It's really cute, and she's helping me with Gates Recovery book that I'm writing for kids, and I'm teaching them about drugs at younger ages. And we're going to have videos, and we're going to have in the Gates Recovery pop-up walk-in clinics where we'll have a craft and they'll like question and answer and kid time. And then because there's a lot of parents who are passing away from opioids and drug overdoses, and their kids are being dumped in the system, or they're being raised by other family members, and it's just a really big way to tackle this opioid epidemic. So the things I primarily do with human sex trafficking and the opioids is that I have the bridge, and then it stops dope sickness. So I have pretty solid plans on how we can work and change this and fight and combat it. But I view that you have to target first the kids and start letting them know at a younger age, because you don't know where your kids are getting their drugs from. You don't know who they're in school with. You don't know what's coming. They even have fentanyl and marijuana now. And then we got to work with the flawed foster care system so that when they get out of foster care and graduate, that they're not being dumped into the system, that they're like learning basic life skills. They're learning what credit cards are. They're getting opportunities that they can get into school or get jobs. Because, even kids who get family members who get divorced, the parents are supposed to be paying when they're divorced for everything, including half the college until they're 21. But when I was younger, I self-financed into school myself, so it's different. And we got to tackle and attack at the adult industry, because the industry's changing and it's just not that good anymore. And it's because of drugs. We're getting a lot of 18-year-olds already addicted to opioids. They just want the fast, easy cash. They're prostituting, and you just don't hit a rock bottom if you're in the adult industry. There's always going to be some guys using you for sex, or someone who thinks they're saving you or enabling you, and especially these young, beautiful women that are just overdosing on a weekly basis. It's so tragic and it's frightening. And I lost so many friends and wonderful people through the years, and I kind of became numb to it, which is really sad. But that's the areas I'm targeting. So I do it through different avenues. Like in the strip clubs, I'm putting centers of positive awareness up, where we got information on drug alcohol rehabilitation programs. We got information on domestic abuse, on taxes, on health insurance, and just anything that can better your life. STD testing, breast cancer checks, all the basics we cover. And I'm just really proud to have accomplished what I always said I wanted to do, but my ex would not allow me to do anything. I literally lived in a box and was completely controlled. So I'm making a difference, and I just love it. And Gates Recovery took over the show, Two Guys and a Girl, and that's on every Sunday from 6 o'clock to 8 with my man Rocco, who does Evergreen Memorial Garden. And we have a setup, and we donate from Beyond the Pole. And then before that actually is Be the Change, and we collect hygiene products. So if you're ever at hotels, grab those extra shampoos or conditioners, bring them in, drop them off at the clubs, give them to me, because we give them out to people in need. Makeup, we give them to survivors of domestic abuse with the Family Justice Center, Willow, all different services where women can cover up their their bruises, build up their self-esteem, help get better jobs. Dawn from Foreplay Buzz, who does the Sex Toy of the Week and is making her company national with the toy parties. She does a charity too, where she feeds the homeless and all different projects we involved with. They did Easter baskets, and they'll be collecting school supplies for school funds, so kids get that. And that's upcoming. And I'm gonna set up some schoolgirl parties at the strip clubs so that we can have like a party and like have the girl with the best costume get the prizes. And it's just fun, and everyone's got a schoolgirl skirt. It's a typical stripper thing. You know, you have the basic, the nurse, the police officer, the Halloween costume. But schoolgirl parties are easy and they're fun. And maybe we can even throw one with Oz at 1 and we could do some event there and then collect the supplies. But I like being with positive, friendly people who want to make a difference and change the world. And I'm one of them. And my friend Peter is one of those also. That we're just on the go. And we're going to see a lot coming in the future. Hard work pays off, trust me. I can vouch for that. There might be bumps in the road here and there. Usually my bumps deal with me having poor taste in men and then thinking I can fix and save them, and you can't really do that. And I realize that, and I'm not going to bother anymore. And I'm going to take my time and then really seek out the right person, because I just feel like I work so much that I kind of let stuff slide. But this is Katrina Lee. Find us Beyond the Pole Radio. You can watch us on YouTube. We are on Beyond the Pole with Katrina Lee, and here's some of our past episodes. The prison ones are pretty great. And we are on every Thursday from 10 o'clock till 12. And Upstate Eats, my food review radio show, is on every Thursday from 8 o'clock till 9. So check it out on Katrina Lee on Facebook. Add me, follow me, whatever you want to do. I post a lot of fun memes.